Hey everyone, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. As most of you know, last year was the year of the pig. And during that time, I managed to look at two pig-related films, like Penelope and Porco Rosso. And in case you're wondering, yes, I did blog Charlotte's Web from 2006, but that was during Season 5 on my show. However, for the past few months, I've been suggested by two of my subscribers to look at a pig-related movie from the mid-90s that I, regrettably, forgot to look at last year. So, without further ado, released on August 4th, 1995, the movie is Babe. So, let's get started. Gentle farmer Arthur Hoggett wins a piglet named Babe at the county fair. Narrowly escaping his fate at Christmas dinner, when Hoggett decides to show him at the next fair, Babe bonds with his motherly border collie friend, Fly, and discovers that he too can herd sheep. But will the other farm animals, including Fly's jealous husband Rex, accept a pig who doesn't conform to the farm's social status? Well, that's for you to decide. But anyway, what do I think of this movie? Well, to be quite honest, guys, I don't think that I saw this movie in theaters due to the fact that I was still very little at the time, but I did watch this movie a lot when it was on home video, and I want to consider it a childhood favorite of mine. But let's move on to Mustang notes. The movie is based on the 1983 book The Sheep Pig, aka Babe the Gallant Pig, by Dick King Smith. Believe it or not, the film went through 7 years of development, being filmed in Robertson, New South Wales, Australia, and the talking animal visual effects were done by the Rhythm and Hue Studios and Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Now, one of the reasons why I watched Babe a lot when I was little was because back then I loved watching Charlotte's Web from the 1970s, and during that time I was a sucker when it comes to farm animals, but nowadays I'm more of a horse fanatic now. But anyway, I like the scenery at the Hoggett's farm, and there were some story scenes that were very serious, funny, and emotional. However, nowadays, I kind of get the feeling that this movie might have influenced racing stripes, due to the main character doing something that his species wouldn't normally do. I mean, pigs do not herd sheep, and zebras do not run in horse races. But for more interesting facts about this film, I'll have to save this for another time. Also to note, I like that the movie displays the chapters in captions, as well as having the mice read them. Plus, I like the movie's theme song, If I Had Words, which is sung by not only the mice, but also Arthur Hoggett sings it while trying to help Babe recover after he runs away. And that's basically all I have for Mustang notes. So, let's move on to the cast. Let's begin with the boss, Arthur Hoggett, played by James Cromwell, who got to be in Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron, and Big Hero 6. Arthur is a shy and gentle sheep herder who finds an unusual use in the pig after seeing Babe sort out the hens. In my opinion, Arthur can be very commanding to his animals. However, I didn't like the scene where Arthur was going to shoot Babe after Ma's death. But thank goodness he doesn't after learning the truth from the police. Also, I think James Cromwell was a pretty good dancer back then while doing his cover of If I Had Words. Arthur's wife Esme is played by Magda Szubanski, whom I remember as Mrs. Beatrice Claus from the Santa's Apprentice movies. To me, while Esme doesn't get as much development as her husband, I think she's very funny at times, and I like that she's very hardworking when keeping her house clean and doing a lot of the farm chores like harvesting. Our main character, Babe, is voiced by the late Christine Cavanaugh, best known as Gothelyn Waddlemeyer Mallard from Darkwing Duck, Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory, and Chucky Finster from Rugrats. To me, while he did have a sad beginning due to him losing his mother, I think Babe is very friendly and polite to about everybody that he meets. And because of his kindness, he gets many of the other animals to warm up to him. Also, I think Babe's talent for sheep herding is very unique. Next we come to Fly, a female border collie voiced by Miriam Margolyes, who got to be in Balto, Harry Potter 2, and James and the Giant Peach. Fly has got to be one of my favorite characters in this movie, not only due to the fact that she adopts Babe as her son, but she also gives Babe some tips on how things work on the farm, as well as some sheep herding tips. Fly's husband Rex is voiced by Hugo Weaving, who got to be in the Happy Feet films, the Bayformers trilogy, the Lord of the Rings / Hobbit trilogies, and of course, Captain America: The First Avenger. Rex is the lead sheepdog on the Hoggett's farm. To me, Rex can be very serious, strict, and a very intimidating leader. However, I didn't like the part where Rex became jealous of Babe being a sheep pig. However, in the middle of the movie, we do learn that Rex had a very tragic backstory. He lost half of his hearing while herding a flock of sheep during a terrible thunderstorm. Anyway, later in the film, Rex becomes a supportive character while helping Arthur find Babe after he runs away, and he helps Babe communicate with the sheep at the sheep herding contest by telling him a password phrase with some help from the Hoggett's flock. Next up is Ferdinand, a white Indian runner duck voiced by Danny Mann, who got to voice Icarus in Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland, and he did Percy's barking in the Pocahontas movies. To me, Ferdinand is another favorite character of mine. Yeah, he can be a tad mischievous, but he's also very smart too. In the film, Ferdinand fears for his life and he tries to make himself useful by crowing, which annoys Esme Hoggett and several of the other animals. Later, Ferdinand enlists Babe's help in doing away with Esme's new alarm clock. However, the plan backfires when Ferdinand nearly sneezes, which unfortunately wakes up Duchess and causes a huge mess in the house. Another character to talk about is Ma, an old ewe on the Hoggett farm, voiced by Miriam Flynn, whom I remember as Grandma Longneck from the Land Before Time franchise. To me, while Ma doesn't get too many scenes, I find her to be a very interesting and sympathetic character. When Babe first meets her, she has a very nasty cough, but she tells him about her deep hatred for dogs. But later, when Babe is tasked to be a sheep pig, Ma gives him some sheep herding tips of her own. However, it was very devastating when Ma got killed by 3 wild dogs. But thankfully, Babe saved the flock and drove the dogs away. Finally, we have the Hoggett's cat, Duchess, voiced by the late Russi Taylor. Anyway, this is another character who doesn't get too many scenes. Yes, she does cause quite a mess when Ferdinand and Babe accidentally woke her up when they were trying to get rid of the alarm clock, and she swiped Babe later in the film when he tried to talk to her. But I think Duchess's nasty moment is when she reveals the truth that humans eat pigs. Sheesh, did Minnie have to be so cruel? I mean, yeah, I know she voiced Drizella in the Cinderella sequels, but come on, I thought Minnie was supposed to be sweet. Anyway, let's just move on to my final words. Overall, Babe is such a classical and nowadays underrated animal movie from the 90s, and I still regret not blogging it last year. The story is not only unique, but it's also dark, serious, and emotional at times. The animal characters are more memorable than the humans are, with the exception of the boss, Arthur Hoggett, and the voice acting is very surprising, and the music by Nigel Westlake is absolutely classical. Now, you may be asking, will I blog Babe's sequel, Pig in the City? Well, maybe someday after the coronavirus dies down. Anyway, I give Babe a rating of 95% out of 100. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me next time, where we look into a biography film from last year, which features a man who I used to watch on PBS when I was little. Mustang Power.